Welcome to the American Rancher. I'm Pam Minnick. Brangus cattle are truly an international breed, and they are our focus today. This breed has steadily increased in stature since its origin in the early 1900s and has become a staple in the cattle industry for excellent production traits, including fertility, longevity, and adaptability. Brangus are very prominent around the world and boast outstanding maternal and carcass traits. Today we travel to the Okeechobee, Florida area, where we'll visit ranchers who know and use Brangus extensively. Later, we'll talk with Texas breeders and then visit the association office in San Antonio. We've got a good show for you today. We're glad you joined us, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The American Rancher is made possible in part by Boehringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Incorporated, makers of Express and Express FP vaccines to defend your calves against respiratory disease. By Purina Animal Nutrition, building better cattle with AccuRation, Wind and Rain, Rangeland, and Steakmaker Feeds. And by Star Lake Cattle Ranch, recognized as a premier Hereford breeder. StarLakeHerefords.com.
Join Blackwater Cattle Company on November 10th for the 2012 Cowman's Kind Brangus Bull and Female Sale. This year's sale will include 200 true beef Brangus bulls, 20 select registered Brangus females, and 500 private treaty commercial Brangus females.
We stand behind these bulls 100%.
If you're in the market for a bull that will sire calves that press the scales, produce unparalleled replacement quality females, or carcass up, make Blackwater Cattle Company your choice.
Circle X Land and Cattle Company of Bryan, Texas has quality Brangus cattle raised with the rancher in mind. Circle X is now offering private treaty some 500 commercial Brangus females bred to start calving this October. These are 2 to 5 year olds, multi-generation Brangus breeding with superb health and excellent disposition. Delivery arrangements are available. Circle X cattle, proven in the feed yard with some of the best carcass values in the breed. Give them a call today and select those cattle that appeal to you.
Welcome back to the American Rancher. Brangus cattle work for so many cattlemen in so many different types of country. They are a thrifty, maternally sound breed that simply produces in the very real world of commercial ranching. The Brangus breed is an American-developed beef breed designed with commercial producers in mind. Researchers began experimenting with crosses of Angus and Brahman as early as 1912 at the Jeannerette, Louisiana USDA experiment station. Their goal was to develop a hearty type of animal with adaptability and carcass quality that would thrive in heat and environmentally challenging ranch country. In 1949, near Veneta, Oklahoma, like-minded cattlemen founded the Brangus breed and established the breed percentage at 3/8 Brahman and 5/8 Angus. This was determined as the optimum combination that captured the desirable traits of both parent breeds. Today, Brangus cattle are pervasive throughout the Americas as well as Africa and Australia. The breed is quite adaptable, carries excellent carcass quality, and added heterosis. Half of the current top 10 ranches across the United States use Brangus bulls. They consistently sire commercial females that adapt well in diverse environments and bring profit-making feeder calves to market. The cattle are forage efficient, disease and insect resistant, and are unsurpassed for longevity. Where other breeds must work to survive, Brangus thrive. The Dixie Ranch outside Okeechobee, Florida has been using Brangus in their crossbreeding program for more than 10 years. Owned by Woody and Grace Larson and managed by Ernie Carrier, the Dixie cow herd is vastly Brangus influenced for a number of reasons. One of the prime traits that Brangus deliver is highly marketable calves as both feeders and replacements.
These are some of our first calf heifers that we breed as yearlings and they calve as 2-year-olds. Here at Dixie Ranch, we keep replacement heifers every year, and everything on the Dixie Ranch is raised right here. Brangus cattle here in South Florida do a really good job. They can take the heat, the rain, the wet weather, the mosquitoes, and they just hold up really good here.
The Dixie relies on their Brangus females to forage, breed, and wean a high-quality calf. Factors of heat and humidity are substantial, and the productivity of Brangus cows there shouldn't be underestimated.
All of our cattle here, we've got some kind of Brangus in them. And we can go either with a Brangus bull or an Angus bull. It just depends on how we want to go with that cow. But most of them, we go the Brangus and get a uniform group of calves out of them year in and year out. You know, the Brangus bulls, during the day, they're out working, breeding cows.
Ernie intensively manages the Dixie cow herd and resources well, and brings about a successful Florida ranching operation. Ernie expects each part of the Dixie to function and do so with a minimum of inputs.
Yes, I would recommend Brangus cattle. The reason we use them here, we get our replacement heifers out of them. Our weaning weights have went up quite a bit since we started using them, and they're really good cattle. They do real good in the feedlots. We've sent some out there and had carcass data back, and they've really done good. They convert really good.
Woody Larson and Ernie Carrier have established the Dixie Ranch as an outstanding Brangus-based operation. They have found success using Brangus genetics and plan to continue.
We're not going to quit using Brangus bulls. We found something that works for us.
Ralph Pelias has used Brangus cattle since 1967 and has used Brangus bulls exclusively for the last 25 years. Ralph and his daughter Stephanie manage the Pelias & Sons and San Marino operations at several locations about Okeechobee, Florida, and in Matagorda County, Texas. When you visit the Pelias operation, the quality of the commercial females there tells you a story of calculated breeding decisions and someone who lives and breathes cattle ranching.
From the beginning, we wanted some carcass quality in the cattle because, as I said, we have fed cattle and we wanted them to grade well. But we also are selecting those bulls for weaning weight and mature weight. We like to kind of control that. We like to control frame size. So it puts us in a position that we have to compete for the real good bulls, but that's what we want.
Ralph is very data-driven in all aspects of his ranch. He consistently purchases the top Brangus genetics and carefully studies performance information and always follows this with a thorough visual appraisal. Among his selection criteria are moderate frame and lots of thickness.
A very high percentage of these heifers at weaning time have the ability to become a replacement. We reduce that number of heifers that have to be handled through the feeder market, and it makes the other heifers that have the quality to become a replacement, it makes them as valuable or more valuable than steer calves. The steers have enormous value sired by these Brangus bulls, and we have experience feeding them ourselves. We continue to select bulls with good carcass traits. The last time that we checked on them, they have a good percent of cattle that will grade choice, and most of them will be yield grade 2s and 3s, very, very few 4s.
Ralph Pelias is an astute cattleman of tremendous experience and energy. He spent a lifetime of passionately producing beef and using Brangus genetics. He is widely respected in ranching circles, and rightly so.
You got to have cattle that are acceptable in the marketplace. These cattle have a good premium. We age and source verify our calves, and we try to maximize the value of our calves, and so those are things that a young producer needs to be thinking about. How can I increase value of the cattle, and I believe you can't go wrong with the Brangus cattle and try to have good quality.
Likes Brothers Incorporated cattle operation is located in south central Florida, west of Lake Okeechobee. The ranch is now a cow-calf operation that ranks as one of the top 5 largest in the U.S. Top quality Brangus bulls are used as the sires for their maternal cow herd of Brangus and Beefmaster cows. High performance Charolais and Angus bulls are used as terminal cross sires.
The Continental or the British cross with the Brangus is a very good terminal cross for us, and the calves do well. And of course, the Brangus cow in our environment does extremely well. Sort of got into the Brangus business about 30 years ago, and now we're predominantly Brangus in our cows. Well, they pretty much are on their own out here. Cattle graze on about 180,000 acres here at Likes Brothers, from Lake Istapoga down to Lake Okeechobee. So, you know, we don't pamper them. They kind of have to fend for themselves. Certainly no assisted calving. They've got to have that calf and protect that calf and bring him to the pens. That's what we expect out of them, and they do a pretty good job at it.
All about Okeechobee, Brangus cattle are delivering substantial value and versatility in crossbreeding programs for commercial cattlemen. It's great ranching country, but it's a challenging area in terms of heat and humidity, as well as insects and parasites. Brangus bring a unique package of adaptability and profitability that has assured the breed a lasting presence in Florida. This is the American Rancher. Don't go away.
Ray and Karen Westall proudly announced the building of the future of Brink's Brangus cattle. Raised in the rocks at 6,000 feet near Arabella, New Mexico, Westall Ranches is working to continue the great tradition of the Brink's brand for today's rancher. Westall Ranches has assembled an exciting lineup of young sires and donors destined to lead the Brink's tradition. For more information, contact Tate Pruitt at 575-653-4842. Westall Ranches, caretaker of the next generation of Brink's Brangus.
Welcome back to the American Rancher. We've learned that Brangus cattle are highly adaptable, and we'll talk to some Texas breeders coming up. But now we continue our story with Southern Accent Farm outside Okeechobee, Florida.
These bulls are acclimated for South Florida and all the environment that we have to deal with, the bugs, the heat, the rain. These bulls will work wherever you put them.
Southern Accent Farm, owned by Alan and Nikki Smith, is a Brangus seed stock breeder that focuses on producing bulls for South Florida ranchers. Alan and Nikki also raise a commercial Brangus cow herd and will use Brangus bulls on purchased Brayford females to produce super baldy replacements.
We're so pleased with our females out of this cross. These calves are just what the buyers are looking for. Feed efficiency in the feed yard, they just do great. They grade well. They're just really good calves. 90% of the females that we raise out of our commercial herd stay here and are bred and are sold as bred heifers. We get rid of those animals that don't breed the first time.
The demand for Southern Accent Brangus seed stock has steadily grown among local ranchers. The Smiths, like many Brangus breeders, are steadfast in providing genetic solutions for their bull customers, as well as assisting them in finding market opportunities.
Brangus animal that's conditioned and ready to go, and will have no health issues when he gets off the truck wherever he goes. Those cattle are going to be worth more money to us, they're worth more money to the buyer, and we all make out. It's a better deal for everybody.
Southern Accent is very conservation focused and was the recipient of the 2012 Agriculture Environmental Leadership Award presented by the Florida Department of Agriculture.
Brangus sired calves are just great. They're just really good calves and are easy to ship and get to where we need them to be. We've tried several other breeds as far as herd bulls on our commercial cows. We thought maybe cleaning up and tightening the hide on some of these calves was going to bring us more money. but it didn't. So our Brangus sired calves are just all the way around from the feed yard to the bred heifers having their calves. It's the best thing we've ever done.
Mound Creek Ranch firmly believes the future of beef production will be dictated by producing more product on less resources with less dollars tied up. Mound Creek emphasizes that pounds are important, that replacement females are the lifeblood of the Brangus breed, and that Brangus will compete with any breed, both in the yard and on the rail.
In the mid-1990s, we decided to implement a new genetics program whereby we utilized Foundation Brahman and Angus genetics to redesign the Brangus animal that we would have at Mound Creek. We kind of reinvented the mousetrap, if you will. We could put a different engine in these cattle by emphasizing pounds, but emphasizing pounds in a real fundamentally, structurally correct individual that had also the ideas of convenience traits designed in it along the way. I would say our bull buyers have graded us with high marks, and they appreciate the product that we're raising, and so we feel like we're on the right path.
The Mound Creek program has sold seed stock from Arizona to Florida and knows that adaptability is a valuable attribute of Brangus cattle.
I think Brangus is the breed of choice, or should be the breed of choice, for 80% of the geographic part of the United States. From the West Coast down through the Southwest arid desert regions, through Texas, Oklahoma, all the way through the Southeast, Brangus cattle are an ideal fit due to the fundamental ability to work well in any of those environments. We do have the genetic resources currently on a breed-wide basis that do so many other things that previously our cattle have not been able to do. But when you look at the genetic population, the Brangus breed has inherently and fundamentally always been known as a maternal breed of choice, and that is still the case. But now we also have the genetic design that we can compete with any other breed of choice from the standpoint of pounds on the ground, from the standpoint of the ability of these cattle to feed well and gain well in a feedlot environment. And then we'll also have the genetic reach that our cattle will also hang upside down, harvest, as well as the other popular breeds of choice. We feel like we have muscle in our cattle now, we have gainability in our cattle, we still have the ability to be the best mother cow in the United States while also adding more economic components than would have been thought of 20 and 30 years ago.
McDonald ranches of Hearn and Bryan, Texas, raises red Brangus. The McDonald program is concentrated on producing consistent genetics.
One of the unique things for us is we use these bulls. We raise commercial cattle. These bulls will work for the commercial cattlemen, and we know that they will because we use them. And I think one of the big advantages to Brangus in general is just that heat tolerance. You know, when it's 105 degrees outside and some bulls are standing knee-deep in the tank, these bulls are going to be out working. They hold up better, they maintain their condition better, they can get out and hustle in this heat, and I think that's one of the biggest advantages for the Brangus bulls.
The International Brangus Breeders Association offices in San Antonio, Texas, provide cattlemen with a host of innovative services and information.
One of the really great things about my job is I get to get out in the field and visit with the customers of our members. So I'm actually dealing with the guys who are using our genetics on a daily basis. What I do with them is, build relationships, get to know what different things that they deal with in their particular management situation. Then I can kind of pair them with some potential market outlets that we have, that people that are interested in really seeking out those Brangus genetics in the supply chain and put customers together.
Brangus are well known in South America and are gaining an increasing market share among beef producers around the world.
Took my first international trip. We went to Palermo there in Argentina. For those people down there, it just comes down to dollars and cents. Those Brangus are more profit generating for them, and they've had a lot more success with that. And the popularity there has grown tremendously. And in my time being down there, they expect the growth of the breed to go exponentially larger than what it is right now and to have a greater piece of the market share.
Traditionally, we've been thinking about how we breed cattle and how we market cattle from a seed stock producer for the commercial cattleman. One of the things that we've tried to focus here is that we need to recognize that we're in the beef industry, and sometimes we're so far removed from breeding seed stock to being in the beef business that we forget who our real customer is. So we start trying to get people to understand that at the end of the day, we've got to produce product that the end user is going to want. And we sell beef. We don't do it directly, but that's the business we're in. So we have a tremendous emphasis and focus and resources are being put in today to make sure that we are talking to the commercial cattleman. He understands what we have to offer, all the way to the feeder, all the way to the packer. This is where I think the future of our industry goes, and this is, you know, the main part of what we will be doing in the future.
From Florida to Texas to the Midwest, and throughout all types of environments in the world, stockmen agree that Brangus cattle are proven as a very versatile, profitable, and lasting breed. The International Brangus Breeders Association is an energetic, forward-thinking group with their eyes set on the commercial beef producer and the future. To learn more, log on to gobrangus.com or check them out on Facebook. We'd like to thank our generous sponsors for helping bring you this inside look at Brangus cattle. That's all the time we have today. To find out more about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or visit us on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Pam Minnick. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you next time.